Hi everyone, how are you? I hope all is well. We will start with the presenter who's here, and I will for sure start with the introduction. So, hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, based on your time zone. My name is Fairuz. I'm a secondary PhD researcher at the Brunel University, and I will be the host and the moderator for ICICT 2022. So, dear authors and invited guests, welcome to the last technical session, 7B for today. On behalf of a Global Knowledge Research Foundation, it's my great pleasure to welcome you on the 7th International Congress on Information and Communication Technology through Zoom. Unfortunately,
Hello.
we are going. Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Hi, how are you? Yeah, we will start in a minute in the presentations. So,
Okay.
we are just giving a brief introduction to make sure that everyone is aligned with us. So again, the presentations will go through Zoom, as you know, due to some circumstances. However, we hope that next year it will be face-to-face, and the most important thing is your safety and your family's safety. We hope that you enjoyed the previous 2 days, and as a ground rule, each presentation will take 10 to 12 minutes in max. The rest 3 minutes will be for questions. If any of the participants has any question, please push it into the chat. So thank you again for your time and being here. So I want to also to welcome our chair, Dr. Sanjay. As a quick introduction about him based on his bio, he's currently working as a professor and head of Department of Computer Science and Engineering as Jupiter Engineering College and Research Center. He has a PhD in data mining and data analysis, and he published more than 95 research papers with Scopus Index and UGS recognized journals. He also has 8 books in computer science and information technology, focusing on Industry 4, AI, big data, and all of those books and papers are published in recognized publishers such as Taylor and Francis. And it's my pleasure to be your assistant in this session, Doctor. Accordingly, I will start with the first presentation. I hope he's here. I will start with Mr. Lamoria, who would present a paper titled as a comparison of improved control of three-phase two-level multi-level invert with phenomenal and space vector control for grid connected PV. So it's over to you, sir, for your presentation. I will stop sharing from my side. Yeah.
Am I audible?
Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, am I audible? Richard, shall start again?
Thank you all for coming today. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead with your presentation. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming today. My name is Abhak Lamarwan, doctoral student at the School of Technology, Oujda, Morocco. In my presentation, I will be talking to you about comparison of the improved control of three-phase level and multi-level inverters with sinusoidal and space vector control for grid-connected photovoltaic system. The order of the presentation is as follows. First of all, I will be looking at the introduction. Then I will move into three-phase two-level and multi-level modeling and the proposed control method. Thirdly, we will discuss the simulation results, and finally, conclusion. And would like to start with a little introduction. Currently, the harmonic distortion source has become an increasingly serious concern as more photovoltaics is integrated into the grid system and can represent a higher output of total harmonic in small-scale system. Many efforts have already been done in order to minimize the power quality to our particular problem for this converter. This article is a proposal towards improved control of the three-phase level and multi-level photovoltaics inverter with two new control methods by the sinus model and space vector control for a non-linear load. The contribution of this study concerns the strategies of control of active and reactive power injected by this inverter in the grid in order to improve the loss of harmonic current and to effectively filter these harmonics injected in the grid. The figure 1 shows the block diagram of the photovoltaic system. Besides, the output voltage of the photovoltaic panel is very low. It is practically impossible to keep a large number of panels because it is not economical. In addition, an increased stage is necessary to raise the voltage level. In this project, a three-phase two and multi-level inverter is used. The phase two level and multi-level inverter modeling and the proposed control method. We will start with the three-phase two-level photovoltaic inverter. The three-phase structure in the figure 2 shows three connection function, each one, three-phase source, P10, P20, and three-phase voltage, P1N, P2N, and P3N. And switch configuration exists for is the converter. And representation in the Concordia benchmark can transform this configuration into a vector. After studying the three-phase two-level inverter, we have also dealt with the multi-level cascade inverter topology. Figure 3 shows the proposed architecture of the photovoltaic system connected to the grid using a multi-level inverter. Each piece of this inverter is made up of 4 arms. This photovoltaic generator of the inverter are represented by 2 voltage sources in series. So as the system is symmetrical, we will only be interested in one phase here. The proposed control method to improve the quality of the grid and the current of our photovoltaic system. The proposed method includes 2 units: the active and reactive power control unit and the harmonic current compensation. The command is similar to that applied to the conventional system with the difference in the part PWM. For carrier regularly, phase shift by frequency switching are used. In this part, we directly control the output current of this inverter into the grid. The output of current of the inverter being equal to the sign of the current of the cells. Simulation result of sinusoidal and space current control. As you can see here, the figure 5 represents the current control diagram proposed by sinusoidal and space vector of three-phase multi-level inverter. This system consists of following block. First block represents the control of the converter with the compensation system and the nonlinear load. The other unit, or the other block, is made up of an active and reactive current control block and a PLA to maintain the synchronism between the converter and the grid, and a block for regulation of DC pulse voltage. Simulation result: three-phase two-level inverter, current controlled by sinusoidal pulse width modulation. The figure 6 shows the spectrum of the output voltage and current by the sinusoidal command. Before compensation, the output current and the photovoltaics are distorted due to the connection of the three-phase inverter to the nonlinear load. The current and voltage spectrum of them Figure 6 represents an output reaching harmonic of multiple order with a harmonic distortion rate equal to 4.14% for current and 4.47% for voltage. After compensation, according to the figure 6b, we observe that all the harmonic of high frequency dispersed after filtering with a harmonic distortion rate to international standard equal to 0.67% and 0.05%. Other controlled by the space vector pose with modulation. The figure 7 shows the spectrum of the output voltage and current by the space vector pose with modulation command. Without compensation, the signal for output current and voltage shows that the fundamental obtained has harmonic of a large amplitude, but of frequency close to that of the very hypercarry with a total harmonic for current equal to 4.38% and 4.47%. With compensation device, figure 7b shows that the sinusoidal space vector control function correctly after filtering, and the harmonic distortion rate of current and voltage is lower than that obtained without filter and without filter. Let's move into the next topology, the three-phase multi-level inverter. For the filtering of the frequency harmonic, the one-shift output signal are not purely sinusoidal because of the harmonic of current and voltage. After applying filtering, the current and voltage curve are almost sinusoidal and identical. The total harmonic distortion of current and voltage are respectively equal to 0.28% and 0.23% for the 51st harmonics. This shows that the total harmonic indicator of the system used in an anti-biased inverter are most better than that obtained with the conventional inverter. Three-phase multi-level inverter controlled by space vector pose with modulation. So by comparing the volume and from the spectral analysis, it could be seen that the total harmonic of the multi-level three-phase photovoltaic inverter topology equal to 0.40 and for current and 0.03% is lower than that obtained with the two-level photovoltaic inverter topology. Thus, we were able to observe a clear improvement in the transit region and the waveform in the case of the interlaced multi-level inverter compared to the classical system. The active and reactive power in the load. The active and reactive power in the load in the reference are presented in the figure 10 after compensation for the two topology. According to this figure, the active power has an average value equal to the reference power value, and the reactive power is almost maintained zero for both sinusoidal and space vector commands after compensation. Finally, we will finish it with the following conclusion. This article is a contribution toward the improvement of the control of the three-phase two-level and multi-level photovoltaic inverter with the new control strategies by the sinusoidal and space vector control for a non-linear load. Comparison of the result of the two systems, our condition to start the current THD of the utilized multi-level inverter is lower than that obtained with the two-level inverter, provide higher quality waveform, reducing current and loss caused by the higher frequency harmonies. We will observe a clear improvement in the transitive and the waveform in the two cases. We result that this method responds in terms of cost and energy efficiency to the problems caused with the photovoltaic inverter and effectively compensate the harmonic current injected in the grid.
I'm sorry for interrupting you, but we have 2 minutes more. Yeah, thank you,
Thank you. The reference, and thank you for your attention.
Yeah. Thank you for the great presentation. It was really informative, and all the best in the rest of the research. I don't have any question on the chat. So it's over to you, Doctor. Do you have any question?
No, there is no question. You can carry on for next presentation.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I will go one by one because the names on the chat are not reflecting the names on the paper. So I will just, yeah, thank you. So I want just to make sure if Mr. Magiul is here. He's not with us. Jennifer?
I'm present.
Yeah, Jennifer, yeah, okay. So we will go with your presentation with the thanks for being here. Jennifer today will present to us home automation system and the quality of life in low-income households, a systematic review of the literature from 2010 till 2021 on behalf of the co-authors. All the best in your presentation. It will be great for sure. We are all with you. You can share your screen, please, Jennifer.
I'm sorry, my computer is too low. Oh, hey, can you hear me?
That's visible. Continue, please.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer Bustamante. I'm going to talk about my article called Home Automation System and Quality of Life in Low-Income Households, a systematic review of the literature from 2010 to 2021. First, we have the outline. We have introduction, methodology, results, discussion, and conclusion. First, in the introduction, as we know, domotic is synonymous with automation, and today is a very important tool in many countries worldwide. The present study seeks to determine what is known about the domotic system and the quality of life in low-income households. Well, there are many visions of smart home for more than 3 decades, where 4 main factors were found that prevent the success of this new proposal, including high cost, inflexibility, manageability, and security conflict. So investigations indicate that around the world every year, a great amount of energy is consumed between houses and buildings, which generates a negative effect on the environment. And due to the exposure of electromagnetic radiation, it would cause great risk in the health of the human being. The purpose is to design a domotic system with a basic element called Arduino that will decrease electromagnetic radiation. There are many ways to automate a house, for example, through an Android application to serve the user in real time should a list of devices related to the house, so that they can connect with each other and perform the process that the user wants. we have the methodology. In the methodology, a systematic review was carried out based on the adaptation of this PRINCE protocol. For the search combination, we use domotic system, quality of life, domotics, technology automations, which allow a broad search in relation to the topic of study. In Scopus, we have 6 articles, in EBSCO 8. In CLO, we have 7, 9 in Science Direct. In total are 30 articles, but 3 are rejected after reading the title and abstract. Yeah. We have the results. The result, as can you see from the articles collected, it was possible to identify that 30 articles have been applied. For example, we have the 30% articles in the Science Direct database, 27 articles in the EBSCO database, 23 articles in the CLO database, and 20% on articles in the Scopus database. Well, in the discussion, the lack of knowledge in the concept of home automation, the low investment of assets for research and generation of proprietary technology has caused a slowing conclusion of home automation in different places, which is alarming because it includes important issues as comfort, security, and energy savings that are applied to homes, building, and shopping centers. And the process of the domotic system has increased for the use of Internet of Things capabilities that provides emerging technologies that allow automating at home. We have the conclusion that the use of domotic in homes will include a better living condition in low-income households oriented to the reduction of duplicate expenses or the efficient use of resources. And finally, thanks for this research, it was determined that there are few studies in relation to the home automation system and the quality of life in homes, which constitutes a rated slow conclusion of technologies, wasting the great benefits is of their overall comfort, security, and especially the savings it can generate at home. Thanks for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. It was really reflective and helpful to those who are interested in this area. So, Doctor, it's over to you. Do you have any question?
I have Jennifer here.
Excuse
Am
me.
I audible?
Yeah, it's breaking, Doctor. We can't hear you.
Jennifer, may I have a question?
I'm sorry, Doctor, it's breaking. Neither me or Jennifer can't hear you.
May I audible, Jennifer?
No, it's breaking. I'm sorry, we can't hear you.
There is a question that you asked about IoT. You are not informing.
I'm really sorry. There is a technical issue and we lost Dr. Yeah, Dr. Sandra, you are with us?
Hello.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Doctor. It's breaking. If you wish, you can send the question into the chat and I will read it to Jennifer for sure. Or you can try to turn off your camera, which will save the internet. Sorry, Jennifer, can you hear the Dr. Sanjay? Okay, so it's not my technical issue. I think it's at your side, Doctor. I'm really sorry for that. Could you please just type the question on the chat? It's really important to all of us and to Jennifer. So if you can type it on the chat, I can read it to her and we can get the answer. You are muted, doctor. Sorry, we can't hear you. Dr. Sanjay? Can you hear? Sorry, you are muted. I'm really sorry for the technical limitation, but for sure, Jennifer, we will get back to you either by chat or by open the discussion back because we are losing. Dr. Sanjay, can you hear me? I'm sorry, there is a technical problem at Dr. Sanjay's side. So thank you again for the great presentation and all the best and the rest of the work. It's really great. Now we will move forward to another presentation about defenses of computual image recognition in comparison to human counterpart. This would be presented by Mr. Valdemir on behalf of the co-authors. So it's over to you, Mr. Valdemir, to start with the presentation.
Thank you very much. Second, please.
Yeah, for sure. Take your time. You need to share your screen from the green button on the bottom.
Yes, yes. I'm searching for. So one second.
Yeah, for sure. No,
here it is.
You found it?
No, okay.
I know it's stressful at your side. Okay, so yeah, we are all listening to you. All the best in your presentation.
Thank you. So my presentation is concerned with the deficiencies of computational image recognition in comparison to human counterpart. But first of all, I wish to express my solidarity with the Ukrainian people and strongly condemn the aggression of my country. That's a very sad day. Now let's consider deep learning image recognition. The image recognition usually takes a few steps from training data to the result. The computational artificial neural networks that are constructed to accept training data as the set of images. And then each image undergoes processing where feature extraction takes place, as you can see. The features in this case are some image elements that are common to the one class of images of objects. Sorry. And therefore, after feature extraction, these features are compared against some classification, and depending on the classification, where it falls. The result is returned. In this case, we can see that either dog or cat or a bird are recognized. So that's in brief how the computer vision with artificial neural networks work. A very basic concept. But human perception is a very different thing. So when someone speaks about computer vision, we must understand that it does not reproduce human vision. The human perception has some limitations that are not reproduced in computer vision. For example, the so-called dazzle camouflage used widely in World War I, where the ships were painted such a way that observing them from the submarine at the periscope depth confused the commander of the submarine, so he was unable to decide what the class of the ship, what the size, where it is moving, its direction, and other key features of the target. It is the limitation of the human perception. This painting was widely used before.
I'm sorry, Vladimir, for
Yes?
interrupting you, but the slides are not moving. So could you please just make sure that they're moving? Or if you wish to make it full screen.
Yes. Do you see next slide?
Yeah, I'm still seeing the first slide.
First,
So yeah. So it looks like that you are sharing the presentation, not this the full slideshow.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Maybe.
It's totally fine. Yeah, keep calm. We are all with you. So just press F5 or the slideshow.
Oh, pressing 5.
Yeah.
Do you see in second
Yeah,
slide?
now you moved to the second slide, which is
Yes,
deep learning.
yes.
Yeah. Okay, now it's fine. Okay, continue.
Oh,
with the
yes.
same way.
Okay. So this is the basic principles of computer vision using deep learning, image recognition, and the next slide is concerned with human perception limitations, as I discussed a few minutes ago. I will repeat myself. Dazzle camouflage were widely used. Oh, sorry. Do you still see the slide?
Yes, I see the second slide now.
So, not.
Which has the dog, the cat picture. So.
That's quite strange.
Yeah, I think that you are. You can click on the slide directly. So, for example, click on slide 3.
Does the slide change to the third one?
Yeah, click on the third one.
And you see the third slide, yes?
No. I'm still stuck.
Okay, I will stick to the.
Yeah. Now it's seeing the shape. Yeah, we can see the human perception.
I will make presentation like that.
It's fine.
Okay. So basically, human vision has limitations, as I said before. So before the invention of the radars, such paintings were highly effective in confusing humans. And moreover, the brain function of humans have some tricky features like moving optical illusions. There are 2 of them presented on the slide. It's still images, but when you look across, you have a full sense that they are moving, rotating, and behaving dynamically. But again, the computer vision does not represent human capabilities, and it will not perceive them as moving. So that's the key difference between computer vision and human perception. One can say that this is good. The computer vision has advantages. It cannot be tricked into seeing false movements and visual tricks, illusions. But however, computer vision can make more grave mistakes. For example, the famous Kanija illusions, where we have invisible shapes. Nearly every human can instantly see hidden figures like triangle, rectangle, star, and so on. But in this presentation, in this work, we fed these images to the Watson image recognition, quite powerful image recognition program from IBM, as far as I know, when it was open for free use. And here next examples of illusions, more complex. Here we can see a cubic grid, a sphere with conical shapes, and the football. But if we, and the last one illusion, if we look from the distance, it's a panda bear hidden in this zigzag pattern, but human can see it, and the computer vision is unable to do so. Why it is important? First of all, these shapes, these illusions are not just theoretical illusions, but they have their counterparts in real life. For example, an autonomous car with an autopilot relies on video feed from several cameras. And sometimes the environment is has low contrast. For example, bad weather conditions, or vice versa, very, very bright sun. So when the forefront object has the same color as the background, we can imagine this like, for example, a truck, a large truck, having a blue, painted in blue color, like the color of the sky, and the computer vision used in autopilot is unable to see it because of low contrast between foreground and background. But if such car has some lights and other contrast, small details outlining the shape, the human driver can see them, but not the the machine. The same goes to lights on the building cranes, bridges, skyscrapers in the night when the contrast is low, dark tower in the dark background, only lights accent its shape. And there can be situation when computer recognition will fail and do not see the obstacle completely. Such things happened to the Tesla cars a few times. So here we present the results from the quite powerful Watson visual recognition. For example, the first table shows top recognized classes for the Canisia hidden triangle. We can see that there is nothing close to the triangle in the class list. So in this case, computer vision fails completely. The second one also fails. It can classify some elements like tool, lamp, or crescent shape, but they are not the case. It's also complete failure. Same goes to the hidden star and for hidden cubic frame. When the image recognition only picks black color and nothing more. So this is true for every hidden shape, except the hidden soccer ball, when it recognizes some black polygons on it, but it's unable to see the ball itself. It considers it as the set of independent polygons. So, but if we take as a benchmark gray triangle as provided on in the table 8, it's the case like the hidden triangle, but the triangle is colored. It's visible. It's of gray color. The classes became changed. They are another, but the contrast is still low, and it's also a failure for computer vision. And the last benchmark case, we made the triangle from the first image. We made it red. It means the contrast is good. And here we see at least some mention of conical shape, mention of the figure. So we can say that even most powerful image recognition software is still lacks the capabilities to recognize shapes in low contrast environments and invisible shapes in the extreme limit of the provided cases. So we revealed that recognition algorithms fail to detect illusionary contours as well as contours in low contrast. And this cannot be mitigated by increased learning, because we cannot train the neural net on every case or on the set of representative cases for invisible shapes, because they can be arbitrary. So and we also provided the connection between such challenging images and their real world counterparts, the scenarios of fully contrasted objects. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you for the presentation. All the best, and we hope that you and everyone will be safe in this critical time. So it's over to you, Dr. Sanjay. Do you have any question, any comment?
Yes, Roger, now I'm okay. I'm visible now.
Yeah.
I think now visible, audible both right now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. Yeah, it's the internet as usual. So
After a little bit hurdle, I am interested in a new network. So I think that now I'm available for you. Vladimir, very good, very nice presentation you did. But I am not able to connect your project with a real world application. Do you tell me something real world application utilization of this application or this research?
About the practical applications, you wonder, yes?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. The practical applications are, for example, light aviation autopilots. When you fly above some human-made objects like skyscrapers or lighthouses in the conditions of low contrast, in the fog or in the darkness, when only lights provide information on the shape of the structure to which they are attached. The same goes to the automatic pilots for automobiles. When you rely on computer vision to automatically evade other cars, but if the night is on, or fog or snow, you can only see lights or very incomplete contour of the car, and it's very dangerous to rely on autopilot in these cases. So the practical application is to test at least every such computer.
In nutshell, I can say that it is too much useful for aviation industries, right?
For aviation and automobile industries, yes, as testing ground for certification whether the autopilot is good enough to be used without accidents.
That's good. Nice. Okay. Thank you, Vladimir. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And we will move forward to the next presentation in a different area. Okay, I'm sorry because it's hanging. Okay, I will move forward to the next presentation where we will discuss another topic related to application of e-commerce technologies in accelerating the success of SME operation by Ziad from Australia, from the University of Newcastle, Australia. It's over to you, Ziad. I will stop sharing and you can share the screen from your side.
So do you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. Thank you.
How can I share the screen, please?
Yeah, you can share it from your side. Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Is it sharing now?
No, still not.
It's not sharing? Wait.
No. You need, a second. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, now visible.
Did you make it full screen? Yeah.
Sorry guys, it's already 5 in the morning right now.
Oh, okay. Time difference. We are sorry for that, but we are happy to have you again. Yeah. Just make it full screen if possible.
Yeah, sure. Let me get rid of
Okay, all the best in the presentation. Go ahead.
Hello everyone, this is Ziad Muteri. I'm from Saudi Arabia. I work in Taif University as a lecturer, and I'm doing my PhD as an information system. in the engineering college at University of Newcastle. My principal supervisor is Shah Maya. He's a professor at Newcastle, and the second supervisor Nassim. Today I'm going to present my work, which is application of e-commerce technology accelerates and success of SMEs operation. In this presentation, as we require to do a presentation as quick as we can within 12 minutes, I'm gonna introduce the introduction, study background, and research methodology, as well as findings, with the conclusion in the end. The introduction, e-commerce literature provides insights of the various latest understanding of the effective operation in online business, given that the business world is rapidly changing. Understanding the advantages matrix of and different type of application of e-commerce technologies and their operation meanings in terms of achieving business success, particularly from business to customer businesses. Acknowledging this, and this paper will exploring the insight of the application of business to customer e-commerce technology in Saudi Arabian context, so that new conceptual framework of e-commerce technology application can be outlined that would ensure the success of businesses. Some of the study background, there are numbers literature reviews study in e-commerce. According to a statistic, 90% of individuals in Saudi Arabia have access to the internet. The statistic also show that up to 80% of the population participants in online shopping. GovFund examined that mandatory feature advertising should have to promote e-commerce after extending information technologies, considering that it is a primary tool used to boost the effectiveness of technology adoption. Halcont and Locanen reviewed the influence of culture and communication of e-commerce. Natural culture after often ensuring the influence provide trust. Alkali support the argument by explaining that business in Saudi have identified the role of e-commerce and improve consumer trust, since the technologies enhance the effectiveness, the efficiency of the utilities. Consumers in Saudi provide to transact with intents that have effective online system that promote their fast and effective service delivery. Research methodology, I followed what I followed in my paper. This study is based on the systematic literature review that is conducting the point out of the scope and pro scope for diverse applications of e-commerce technology for online businesses. We survey the literature and in academic journals, books, and conference articles, having the objectives of collecting, sharing, and synthesize existing studies related to the application of e-commerce technology. The survey sample articles focusing on several applications of e-commerce technology for small and medium enterprises. This study adopt content analysis methodology to generate the outcome linked to the success of technologies in small and medium enterprises. The findings we find are laid on the development of new framework to ensure the success of small medium operations. We research several databases such as IEEE, Elsevier, Springers, and ACM, IEEE Explore, and other information system journals. In searching, we have used various keywords such as e-business in Saudi, e-commerce in Saudi, or developing countries, or even e-commerce technology in small medium enterprises, as well as e-business technology in small medium enterprises in Saudi, and SMEs, and business technology in small medium enterprises. In conclusion, application of electronic commerce technology have increased notably over the past 10 decades in different business sectors, and particularly the technologies of business and business to customer operations have significantly improved the productivity of online small businesses such as small medium enterprises. Systematic literature review in this domain categorized different benefits, but limit number of study in small medium enterprises success from the few of information system research exist, which needs to be taken for future attention. Therefore, comprehensive analysis, this study introduced a conceptual framework for the applications of e-commerce technology and accessories in small medium enterprises operations. And this is the references. And if you guys have any questions.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Yeah, sure, Doctor. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I have a question. Jed, are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, my question is, you just only shown here only review of literature and which are also incompleted. No application you discuss about for e-commerce related to e-commerce technology for the study. Means your presentation is not clear the topic, not make clear your topic, what you want to say here. I'm just not getting what you want to say here.
What do you want to see here? The main point of the paper is showing the success of e-commerce, SMEs in e-commerce.
What is your framework? What is your? Do you show me your conceptual framework for accelerating the e-commerce?
The conceptual framework all about interview, reading the interviews and finding the factors, which is the factors it's linked to the success of e-commerce.
Okay, fine. Show me reference number 13 and 3.
Which one?
Reference number 13 and 3. 3 and 13 reference.
Reference.
Reference number 3 and 13.
Right,
As you mentioned in your review literature, reference number 3 and 13. But you are not point out where is reference number 3 and 13.
Right number.
Yeah. Yes. Like this. Stop here. Study background.
Okay.
Stop on study background page. Come on study background page.
Yeah.
There is in second line reference number 13, and in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In fourth line there is reference number 3. Kindly show me reference number 3 and reference number 13.
Oh, it doesn't show in here.
Why? If we have mentioned that there is a reference number 3 and 13, why you taken bullet here for
Because
reference?
I got it from the paper itself.
No, this is not a proper way to presenting
right.
mentioning a reference, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And yet, please work
I should
on
mention the name itself.
put little bit emphasis on your presentation also. It is not a lucrative presentation. You didn't give a line spacing. It is very hepatite to read.
Okay, sorry about that.
So please attend class for creating good presentation, right? You are
What's
taking good
that?
template, but you're taking good template, but content and how you put the content on the template is not very good way, right? Please.
Yeah, opinion. Yes, you made right. Yeah.
Okay, right. Okay,
Thank you so much.
just take care of all
Thank you
those
for
things,
the
right?
comments. Thank you for the comments. I
Yeah,
will
yeah,
take
yeah.
care. Thank you.
Yeah, Jed. Okay, fine.
Thank you for the presentation. And now I think we are going continuously to the next presenter if they are here. I'm sorry, because I want to double check.
I think last Vincent presentation of Vincent.
Yeah. I think we are almost there, but I wanted to double check to make sure that none of the previous presenters are here. So now we have the presentation of Mr. Vincent. Packet
Vincent, yeah.
replies, prevention protocol for secure B5G networks.
Yes, I'm around. Hi.
Hi, sir. So could you please just share your screen and go ahead with the presentation? All the best.
Okay, thank you. Right, so are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can see the screen. Yeah, just make it full screen to make it more comfortable and go ahead. All the best in your presentation.
Okay, thank you. So my name is Vincent Nyangaresi, and I'm doing a presentation on our paper titled Packet Replace Prevention Protocol for secure beyond 5G network. So I'm doing so on behalf of my 3 other co-authors. So the beyond 5G networks are characterized by features such as high throughput and also extremely low latencies, as well as better internet consumptions. And therefore, these features have rendered it applicable in numerous Internet of Things application scenarios, such as smart homes, smart cities, and also intelligent transport systems. And therefore, massive and private data is transmitted across these ultra-dense networks, and therefore they need to protect them. So therefore, the third generation partnership project is defined the verification and key agreement protocol to securely transmit packets over these networks. However, previous literature has shown that these protocols are vulnerable to a number of attacks, such as impersonation, as well as packet replays, among others. Therefore, over the recent past, researchers have developed numerous schemes based on techniques such as the public key cryptography. You also have schemes based on biometrics, group signatures, and blockchain, among others. However, we note that these schemes, most of these schemes, either still have some security shortfalls, or they require extremely high execution time, energy, or bandwidth. So in this paper, a protocol that makes use of the method authentication codes, asymmetric cryptography, elliptic curve cryptography, as well as is developed for the 5G authentication. So we show that the proposed protocol is also secure under all the WHO security model assumptions. In terms of performance, we show that it has the least execution time and also lowest bandwidth requirements. And therefore, because of these features, our scheme is better suited for deployment in beyond 5G networks. So in terms of execution, the proposed protocol is executed in 3 major phases, which include parameter setting phase, mutual authentication. Then finally, you have a key agreement phase. So during the parameter setting phase, essentially what happens is that the target GNP selects some points Q of order n over the elliptic curve, followed by the generation of some keys, H and C, which is followed by the selection of one-way hashing operation before buffering security parameter H. So in step 2, it generates the user ID for every user equipment within the network, together with some security tokens, as well as secret keys for each of these user equipments. And this one is followed by the derivation of 2 security parameters, that is B and phi. And in step 3, using these computed parameter in step 1, the target generation, the target GNP, the target GNP computes this equipment's private key before buffering the security parameters shown in M. And then finally, it sends this M through some secure channels to the user equipment. During the authentication and key agreement phase, the process is triggered by having the user equipment select some random parameter R1 before deriving the two security parameters I and Y. And then it also determines the current timestamp before computing security parameter A1 and A2. Then in step 2, to uphold the integrity of the exchange packets, the user equipment derives beta1, B1, which is actually the message authentication code of the parameters in brackets. It also generates parameter Z before sending authentication request ARQ to the target GNP. So upon receipt of this authentication request, the target GNP determines the current timestamp, which it uses to execute some freshness checks on the received authentication request. And if this incoming message fails the freshness check, then the authentication process is terminated. However, if it passes that this check, then the target GNP proceeds to retrieve some 3 parameters from its memory, which before decrypting security parameter A2 to retrieve or to yield the user equipment ID, the tracking area ID, as well as the timestamp. Then this is followed by the verification of these parameters, and on condition that these validations are successful or unsuccessful, rather, the verification process is aborted. However, if the validation of all these 3 parameters is successful, then the target GNP proceeds to recompute the security parameters BY, A1, as well as B1. And then it again verifies the recomputed parameter B1, aside that if this condition does not hold, then the authentication is aborted. Otherwise, it proceeds to the next phases. So in step 4, the target GNP chooses a random number R2 that is then deployed to compute the 4 parameters, that is C1, C2, A3, as well as B2. This is followed by the derivation of the session key, which essentially includes or incorporates the user equipment ID. You have the target, the tracking area ID, as well as the security parameters C1 and C2. And then the next is also to select some or generate some pseudo random parameters that is employed then to derive security parameter D1. Then finally, the target GNP composes some authentication response that we then send back to the user equipment. So in step 5, essentially the same process is repeated, whereby upon receiving this message, it derives or it checks the current timestamp that it uses then to check the freshness check, to execute the freshness check on the received authentication response message. And it is only upon successful freshness check that the user equipment can retrieve some parameters from its memory, as well as decrypting security parameter A3 to obtain the 3 parameters shown there. That is the user equipment ID, the tracking area ID, as well as the timestamp. This is followed by the verification of all these retrieved parameters. Aside that, if the verification results are negative, then the verification session is aborted. However, if they are successful, then I proceed to compute security parameter B2 that is again validated. Aside that, if the result again is a negative, then the authentication is aborted. However, if the result is positive, then the user equipment proceeds to derive security parameter D2 before computing the session key for traffic protection. So in terms of results and discussion, we made use of 2 metrics, that is the execution time and the bandwidth requirement, which are very key parameters in the evaluation of authentication protocols. So based on the results on these figures, we can see that the scheme proposed in reference 7 has the highest execution time, while the proposed scheme had the least execution time. In terms of the bandwidth requirements, we measured the number of bytes that are exchanged during the authentication process, and then we compare the values obtained with those ones of the schemes in 16, 17, 27, and 29. And again, from this figure, we can see that the scheme proposed in reference 17 had the highest bandwidth requirements, while the proposed scheme had the least bandwidth requirements. So in terms of security and privacy evaluation, so we made use of a number of prepositions. There were 11 in number, but because of the limited time, we used about 5. So the first one is that the proposed protocol is resilient against packet reclays. And I think we can see that during the multi-authentication process, we made use of timestamps as well as some random numbers. And therefore, it means that upon sending a particular message to the receiver, freshness checks must be executed. And therefore, it means that any message that is emanating from the attacker that is making invalid timestamps will be easily detected at the receiver side. So in terms of the man-in-the-middle attacks and impersonation attacks, so the assumption made is that an attack is—
Sorry for interrupting you, but we have 2 minutes more, please.
Right, thank you. So in terms of the man-in-the-middle attacks and impersonation attacks, the assumption made is that an attack is capable of intercepting the messages that are being passed across the target GNP as well as the user equipment. But we realize that in our scheme, these messages incorporate some timestamps. We also have some secret tokens, and some of these parameters also constitute the identities of the equipment. But these identities are never transmitted across the network, and therefore it means that an attacker is unable to obtain them to derive valid messages that are exchanged across the network. So in terms of the forward and backward key secrecy, we also show that the attacker is unable to capture the current session key, then use it to derive the session key that was used in the previous session, as well as the subsequent session. This is because we make use of some dynamic security parameters, as well as the real identities of the tracking area, as well as the user equipment, which are unavailable to the attacker. In terms of the physical capture attacks, I think you have seen that all the security parameters are independently computed by each user equipment as well as the target GNP. They also share some tokens, and therefore it means that the compromise of a particular user equipment does not necessarily mean the compromise of other user equipments within the network. So in conclusion, we have seen that numerous protocols have been developed to address security and privacy issues in beyond 5G networks, but they fall short in terms of security loopholes as well as performance. But the proposed protocol has been shown to have resilience, to offer some resilience against some typical attacks, and also it does so with the lowest execution time and also lowest bandwidth requirements. So that marks the end of my presentation. Thanks for listening to me. So if there is any question,
yeah, thank you for the presentation. Okay, so it's over to you, Doctor. Do you have any question?
Mr. Vincent, are you implemented these protocols somewhere?
We have simulated. I think I'm talking about the simulation results. We simulated the same in Python.
Okay. Right now, all the findings are with simulator.
Yes.
It's not implemented in any instrument or embed somewhere.
That is the future work. Actually, if you ever look at the future work in the conclusion, that is the future work of this paper, which involves the practical implementation of the proposed protocol.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for the presentation. Thank you for the presentation. And now we are moving to the last presentation from the previous session with Mr. Abdel Fattah. It's over to you, sir, to share your slides. I'm sorry, I'm saying that we will go with the next presentation with Mr. Abdel Fattah. Okay, sir, we are, go ahead. You are muted. I'm sorry, you are muted.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm really sorry, you are muted again. Looks like that there is something in your mic that automatically mute you.
Okay.
Okay. Can you please run the presentation because we can see only the first slide.
Presentation is visible. So we start.
Je vais vous présenter en français, monsieur.
Yeah,
D'accord?
I think it's in French. Yeah, if I can recognize.
Est-ce que vous m'entendez? Est-ce que vous m'entendez?
I'm really sorry, sir, but I think most of us can't understand the French. So can you speak English?
No, you speak in French.
Okay,
French.
so yeah,
Okay.
can you because the Dr. Sanjay, can you understand French?
Okay, can you? I think you just explain your methodology and findings in English. Then we can understand all those things.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
okay,
so can you speak English for the methodology and the
only
methodology and results?
only objective, methodology, and results. Objective or method results also you can take 2 points only. Objective and result.
D'accord. Est-ce que je vais... Bon, je vais commencer mon exposé. D'accord, monsieur?
Okay. So if you wanted to speak Arabic, I can translate into English because I'm an Arabic speaker. It might be helpful as well. Okay, no worries, sir. No worries, sir. Go to the presentation. We will try to understand as much as we can because I'm really sorry because we don't speak French and Arabic would be helpful. Since you are from Morocco, I assume that you can speak Arabic, so I can translate. Yeah, if you want to speak Arabic, speak in Arabic and I will translate into English.
D'accord. Okay.
Okay, no worries.
هل تتمكنين من المحاورة باللغة العربية؟
Yes, نعم.
Yes.
نعم.
D'accord.
نعم.
Donc, إذن سأقوم بتقديم البحث حول موضوع الوضعية الوبائية للليشمانيا الجلدية والليشمانيا يعني الداخلية في مدينة مكناس خلال المدة الزمنية ما بين 2014 و 2015.
Okay.
في هذا العرض
So the presentation will focus on the pandemic in one of the Moroccan cities between 2014 till 2019. Okay, in this presentation, he will present the introduction, the objectives, the methodology, results, and discussion. Okay. If you can go directly to them, لو سمحت مباشرة نتجه للمنهجية.
مباشرة للمدخل.
المدخل تفضل.
المنهجية
ولا
مستويات بالمقدمة الهدف العام للدراسة الوسائل والطرق المعتمدة كذلك النتائج والنقاش وفي الأخير الخلاصة العامة لهذا البحث.
Okay, so he will introduce introduction. Yeah, in the introduction, في المقدمة.
في المقدمة الليشمانيات هي أمراض يعني جلدية. هذه الأمراض الجلدية سببها طفيلي يسمى بالليشمانيا. الليشمانيا هو طفيلي وحيد الخلية ينتقل إلى الإنسان وجميع الثدييات عن طريق ان فيكتور عن طريق ناقل حشرة تسمى بالفليبوتوم أو يعني النوع فليبوتوميوس.
Okay, so he's introducing the leishmania, which is one of the diseases that the human can get it by an insect called, not get its name, by an insect, and it looks dangerous for the human.
Okay, madam, I'm getting about the paper. Kindly discuss the result.
يخبرك أن تذهب مباشرة إلى النتائج.
نعم، نتائج. النتيجة الأولى كما تلاحظون توزيع سنوي للليشمانيات حسب الوسط.
Okay, so now he's showing the distribution of leishmania based on the center, based on the mean value. And there is differences between urban and rural areas.
لدينا وسطين، بالأزرق الوسط الحضري وبالأحمر الوسط القروي.
Yeah, so in red there is the rural areas and in blue there is the urban areas. Yeah.
كما تلاحظون من خلال المبيان خلال سنة 2016 نلاحظ ارتفاع في عدد، يعني العدد الجديدة للليشمانيات في الوسط القروي أكبر من الوسط الحضري. إذن نلاحظ هذه الملاحظة في جميع السنوات. 2014 في الوسط القروي أكبر من الوسط الحضري في 2016 وكذلك في سنة 2018. لكن هناك فرق أو حالة خاصة. سنة 2015 نلاحظ بأن الوسط الحضري يعرف أكبر قيمة أو أكبر عدد من الحالات الجديدة للليشمانيات أو للليشمانيات، وكذلك في سنة 2017 هناك تساوي بين العدد بالنسبة للليشمانيات في الوسط الحضري والوسط القروي. يعني كما تلاحظون هنا حالة يعني عامة خلال 2016 هناك ارتفاع ملحوظ في الليشمانيات في الوسط القروي عكس الوسط الحضري.
Okay, so in general, the rural areas in 2014, 2016, which is the extreme case, 2018 and 19, there is a huge exponential in the leishmanian cases in rural areas. However, the strange case was in 2015, where the urban areas are higher, and in 2017, the cases are equal. Go ahead.
النتيجة الثانية كما تلاحظون هناك توزيع لحالة الليشمانيات الجلدية، أقول الليشمانيات الجلدية حسب الجلد كما تلاحظون في هذا المبيان. فالوسط القروي فهو يعرف أكبر نسبة مقارنة مع الوسط الحضري. الوسط القروي 58.14% مقارنة في الوسط الحضري 41.86%. هذا كل ما يخص بالنسبة للليشمانيات الجلدية.
Okay, so this is based on the type and the color of the skin. The results show that 85.14% in the rural areas are suffering from the leishmania. Sorry. Yeah.
نعم. النتيجة الأخرى نلاحظ هناك توزيع الحالات الليشمانيا الجلدية حسب الجماعات. الليشمانيات الجلدية حسب الجماعات، هذه الجماعات التي تشكل يعني مدينة مكناس، لأن مدينة مكناس هو وسط يعني الدراسة. كما نلاحظون في الجماعة الحضرية لمكناس نلاحظ ارتفاع كبير في الحالات الجديدة للليشمانيات تقدر تقريبا ب13 حالة، وفي الجامعات الأخرى فنلاحظ بأن أكبر قيمة يمكن أن يصلها هي 5 حالات. إذا نلاحظ لا تتجاوز قيمة أو عدد الليشمانيات 5 حالات في جميع الجامعات المكونة لمدينة مكناس، باستثناء الجماعة الحضارية لمكناس التي يقدر عدد الحالات التي تم رصدها تقريبا 13 حالة.
Okay, so here we are presenting based on, let's say, the origin or the group of the community in Meknes city, where the urban people have the highest number of cases, which is 30 cases. However, the other origins and the other groups in the same city, in the same community, have less cases, which reach in worst case 4 cases, which is a significant difference over all years.
هنا في هذه الحالة هناك توزيع الليشمانيات، لكن النوع الثاني من الليشمانيات يعني الحشوية أو الليشمانيات الداخلية بدلالة الوسط. نلاحظ بأن الوسط القروي دائما، الوسط القروي فهو يعرف أكبر نسبة للإصابة بداء الليشمانية الحشوية، والذي يقدر ب 72.73% مقارنة بالوسط الحضري الذي يقدر ب 27.27%. إذا هنا كما سنلاحظون دائما الغلبة للوسط القروي مقارنة مع الوسط الحضري.
Okay, so here he looks into a different type of leishmania, which impacts the internal body, not the skin like the first case, and the results are almost reflecting the same conclusion, which are the rural areas are mostly impacted. However, the percentage are higher, which was 72 in comparison to the previous results. Okay, go ahead.
هنا لدينا توزيع الحالات الليشمانية الحشوية بدلالة الجماعات. إذا كما نلاحظ هناك ارتفاع أو ظهور أكبر عدد للحالات الجديدة للليشمانية الحشوية بجماعة وليلي. ونلاحظ كذلك غياب الحالات للليشمانيات الحشوية بالجماعتين أنزلة ودار السلطان. إذا هناك ارتفاع كبير لجماعة وليلي متبوع بمدينة مكناس وكذلك واد جديدة. ونلاحظ كذلك غياب تام للليشمانيات الحشوية في الجماعتين أنزلة ودار السلطان.
Okay, so here he's also representing the data based on the groups, or let's say the offenses. As we can see, some groups such as the Tolal, the Walili have the highest rates. However, other groups have the 0 cases, such as the Dar Sultan. Yeah, استمر.
في هذا الميدان هو عبارة يمثل تطور سنوي للليشمانيات الجلدية والحشوية. تطور سنوي، أقول تطور سنوي تطور يعني شهري للليشمانيات الجلدية والحشوية ما بين 2014 و 2019. كما نلاحظ في هذا الميدان هناك 3 قمم أو 3 ذروات. الذروة الأولى كما تلاحظون هذه الذروة فهي في شهر فبراير. خلال شهر فبراير هناك ارتفاع كبير لهذه الليشمانيات الحشوية والجلدية. هناك يعني قمتين، الثانية خلال شهر ماي ويونيو، وخلال شهر سبتمبر وأكتوبر، لكن هذه الذروتين فهما أقل يعني قيمة مقارنة مع الذروة الأولى. هذا من جهة. من جهة أخرى نلاحظ بأن تغيرات عدد الليشمانيا الحشوية والجلدية فهو متزامن. نلاحظ هناك تزامن بين المنحنيين، المنحنى بالأزرق والمنحنى بالأحمر.
Okay, so now he's presenting the data distribution on monthly basis. As we can see, February is one of the highest months, May as well. However, the pattern is the same. So if we are looking to the red and the blue lines, they are almost acting on the same way between rural and modern areas, also based on the type of leishmania. Yeah. استمر استاذ.
اوكي. في هذا الميدان نلاحظ تطور سنوي، اقول تطور سنوي للحالة الجديدة لكل من الليشمانيا الجلدية والليشمانيا الحشوية في المدة خلال المدة ما بين 2014 و 2019. كما نلاحظ في هذا الميدان هناك المستطيلات بالأحمر التي تدل على الليشمانيا يعني الجلدية. هناك انخفاض تدريجي انطلاقا من سنة 2014 انخفاض تدريجي إلى حدود 2019 يرافقه ارتفاع تدريجي في اللاشمانيات الحشوية التي تمثل بالمستطيلات بالأحمر، ارتفاع تدريجي لكن ابتداء من سنة 2016. نلاحظ كذلك بأن خلال سنتين 2014 و2015 هناك غياب تام، كما تلاحظون غياب تام للليشمانيات الحشوية التي ممثلة باللون الأحمر.
Okay, so in this case, we took yearly observation from 2014 till 2019. As we can see, the skin-related leishmania is highly great in 2014. However, the curve is dropping down till 2019. In 14-15, we don't have any other observation of internal leishmania. However, it started to grow from 2016. The peak reached at 2019. So it looks like that the first type goes to disappear and the other type of leishmania is growing up. Yeah.
هنا لدينا نتيجة جد جيدة بالنسبة لتوزيع الحالات الجديدة للليشمانيات بدلالة العمر والجنس وكذلك نوعية الليشمانيا. إذن هنا كما تلاحظون لدينا الليشمانيا الجلدية فهي تصيب جميع الفئات العمرية بدون استثناء، بالإضافة أنها تصيب كذلك الجنسين معا الذكور والإناث. لكن بالنسبة للليشمانيا الحشوية كما تلاحظون تصيب فقط الفئة العمرية لأقل من 9 سنوات، كما تلاحظون 9 سنوات. أما بالفئة السنوية الأكبر أو الفئات العمرية أكبر من 9 سنوات كما تلاحظون هناك غياب تام للليشمانيا الحشوية، أو يمكن القول بأن الليشمانيا الجلدية تقيس جميع الفئات العمرية، والليشمانيا الحشوية تقيس الفئات الصغرى التي يتراوح عمرها أو التي عمرها لا يتجاوز 9 سنوات.
Okay, so based on this observation, we can see the distribution on the data based on the age groups, and it's also distributed based on the type of leishmania. As we can see, there's different behavior. So the skin leishmania is not impacting the children who are, for example, less than 6 years old. However, the opposite is going for the other type of leishmania. Yeah, استمر.
نعم، النتيجة الموالية هي ترتيب الليشمانيات هي أمراض طفيلية حسب الأصل أو حسب المصدر.
Yes, doctor.
Faraz, please come on final conclusion, final slide.
Okay. So كتبي إيه؟ تستطيع الانتقال لآخر نتيجة؟
نعم، الخلاصة la conclusion. Donc on peut conclure يمكننا الخلاصة بأن الليشمانيات هو عبارة عن مرض خطير ويشكل مشكل صحي بالنسبة للمرفق الصحي المغربي وخاصة على مستوى مدينة مكناس. كذلك نلاحظ بأن الليشمانيات الجلدية فهي تصيب جميع الفئات العمرية في المقابل الليشمانيات الحشوية فهي تصيب فقط الفئات العمرية الأقل من 9 سنوات. ونشكركم على حسن المتابعة وشكرا أستاذة بزاف.
Thank you, مشكور. So in conclusion, he said that leishmania is a very dangerous disease, and it's mostly dangerous in Meknas city, as based on the distribution and the data, which put a huge pressure on the Moroccan government to stop this disease. We hope everyone will be far away from any sort of risk disease, but okay, so based on that, we are coming to the end of the session. Unless you have anything, Dr. Sanjay, that you wanted to add based on this presentation. Okay, so we are going to the end of the session now, and we wish you all the best. We wish you to stay safe, and no one in the world would be harmed, because it's really stressful period. At the end of this presentation, it's my pleasure to thank all of you, and then I sincerely thank you authors for the great presentation and contribution during the session. Without you, this international conference would never be this successful, and we hope to see you next year for sure, hopefully face to face. All the presenters will get their certificates, digital certificates, within a couple of business days. Also, the publication has been already sent to Springer, so it takes 5 to 6 months to get published. The co-authors will be communicated. The authors will be communicated by ICICT 2022 team for further, let's say, clarification. So please keep an eye on your email. I sincerely thank you, Professor Sanjay, for your time, help, effort, and the notes that you have given to the presenters. For sure, it will enrich their work. So I kindly ask you to open your cameras, even though that we are online, but we still have this chance to document this memory. So if possible, open the cameras and they will take a screenshot on behalf of taking picture. I will talk in Arabic for Mr. عبد الفتاح. So سيد عبد الفتاح ختمنا المؤتمر بشكر الجميع وبشكر البروفيسور، والشهادات ستكون متاحة خلال يومين عمل. البحث رح يكون منشور خلال 5 ل 6 أشهر بسبرينجر، ومهم نتابع الإيميل في حال أي متابعة من المجلة. ومشكور جدا على وجودكم، مشكورين جميعا على وجودكم. So thank you for being here all, and now we will take a picture. So open the cameras and smile. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you all. Stay safe, and let's pray for the world to get over those hard days. We hope everyone will be safe and in peace. Thank you again, and we hope to see you next year. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.